What's going on, you guys? So, Keyshawn Davis, Edwin de los Santos is supposed to be set for June 7th of this year. It's a fight that's been talked about for a while now. I mean, a lot of people in the boxing media have been talking about it, speculating whether this fight's going to happen. I've even dropped a couple YouTube shorts talking about the potential of this fight actually happening, and the more stuff comes out, the more it's looking like it's likely to happen. But on some of the YouTube shorts I've dropped, some of you guys have been saying that Edwin is going to be too much for Keyshawn, and that Keyshawn's not even ready for an Edwin. And I completely disagree with that. I think Keyshawn is actually the more proven of the two. I think he's the more polished, all-around better fighter. And I think he's proved it. I mean, he's the current WBO champion, and he's coming off, like 3 great performances in a row. The last time we saw Edwin de los Santos was against Shakur Stevenson, and that was some time ago. And that was a very lackluster fight. I mean, both Shakur and Edwin didn't really do a whole lot that whole entire fight. I mean, Shakur was battling a hand injury, but I don't know what Edwin's deal was. I mean, he had no ability to cut off that ring that fight, and he didn't really throw any more punches. So I wasn't really impressed with that, but I think very highly of Edwin. I think Edwin is a good fighter. I think there's a reason why pretty much the whole lightweight division has been avoiding him. I mean, he's a southpaw with power and boxing skill. And I actually rank Edwin de los Santos pretty high in the lightweight division. I mean, I could see him beating a Tank Davis and every single person on Tank's resume. That's how high I think of Edwin de los Santos. But this will be a great fight. If I have to pick somebody, obviously I'm going to be picking Keyshawn. But that's not to say that Edwin can't win this fight. He possesses a lot of skills, a lot of punching power, and to make things even trickier, he's a southpaw. So, obviously, it's going to be a fight I'm going to be looking forward to. In some of the YouTube comments I've seen, in interviews, we saw Edwin de los Santos go on Mill City Boxing's podcast and go through an interview. His translator said that they actually hopped on the phone, Keyshawn and Edwin, that is. And Keyshawn told him, look, I'm not no Shakur. Now, anytime you hear a fighter say, I'm not this person or I'm not that person, it's usually a jab at whoever the guy is that he's talking about. In this case, you have Keyshawn saying, I'm not no Shakur. To me, I would take that as like an insult, like you're shooting a jab at Shakur. And a lot of people have been speculating whether or not that was a jab. I think so. I've never heard a fighter, like I say it in a respectful way. But assuming that Keyshawn goes in there and puts on a dominant performance against Edwin, whether he just beats him up for 12 rounds or he stops him, that's going to put a lot of eyes on a Keyshawn Davis, Shakur Stevenson fight happening. People are going to say that Keyshawn is the better of the two because he performed better against Edwin. I mean, that's a common opponent. I mean, typically you see that when certain fighters have a common opponent, they're going to be judging, the performances of the two. But styles do make fights. I think it's possible that Keyshawn gets an Edwin de los Santos out of there. I think Edwin could be defensively irresponsible at times, and Keyshawn has power. But people have been talking about a Keyshawn and Shakur fight. Both of them have said, that fight's not going to happen. They're like brothers, this, that, and the other. But I saw Andre Ward interview Shakur Stevenson, and he asked Shakur Stevenson about this. He's like, hey, are we going to see a Keyshawn Davis fight? And he said, no, that fight ain't going to happen. And, Andre Ward kept it cool, but he's like, give it a couple years and we'll see. We'll see if you still feel the same way. But both of them have floated out. If there's an absurd amount of money, then yeah, we'll make the fight. But I do think as time goes on, Keyshawn is on the rise. Shakur is right there too. They're I think, in my opinion, these are the 2 best lightweights in the division. You got Keyshawn and you got Shakur. But I think over time, this fight is going to look more likely to happen. Especially if Keyshawn is saying certain things like this, and if he beats the Edwin and puts on a dominant performance, it's definitely going to raise eyes, and people are going to question who's the better fighter. People are going to want to see it, and that may open up, the possibility of a Turkey Al Sheikh or somebody like that just floating a ton of money out there to make that fight happen. But right now we got Edwin and we got Keyshawn Davis fighting. Hopefully it does happen. Like I said, the date is supposed to be June 7th. Who do you guys got winning that fight? I got Keyshawn, but let me know who you guys got. And how do you guys see that fight end? Do you see it going all 12, or do you see somebody get stopped? Let me know what y'all think. Hate, like, comment, subscribe. Until next time.